Happy 4th of July. Yes, it is Friday Bible reading, and I know it's a holiday, but you know what? I'm always not being consistent with you guys by reading my Bible to you on Fridays. I'm like, you know what? Just because it's 4th of July, I finished my half of the cooking. Now it's my husband's time. He's making a 5 pound peach cobbler. Okay, get into it. So while he's preparing, because I already did, the barbecue, the potato salad, and the baked beans, I just made like a little small thing last minute. We're just chilling at home. So I'm like, you know what? Let me pause my Megan movie. Okay, I love Megan. I can't wait to see part two. It's in theaters right now, so rush to it. But don't tell me about it. So anyways, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to go in and read this. We're reading from Genesis chapter 24. I do 3 chapters, every video. And so, we've been talking about Abraham, Lot, Sarah. Sarah, just a little recap. Sarah is, she, in the book of Genesis, she was old, okay? Um, she couldn't use in vitro for a baby, okay? Um, God blessed her and Abraham with a child. So much has gone on in Genesis so far. You got to look at my videos, but I'm going to start right at chapter 24. Abraham was now a very old man, and God blessed him in every way. Chapter 2, verse 2. One day, Abraham said to his household administrator, who was his oldest servant, verse 3, swear by Jehovah, the God of heaven and earth, that you will not let my son marry one of these local girls. Is Abraham turning up his nose to the local girls? He must know something, okay? These Canaanites. Ooh. Verse 4, go instead to my homeland, to my relatives, and find a wife for him there. I basically saying them Canaanites, child. Okay, he said, no, I don't want them a part of our family. That's basically what he's saying. Verse 5, but suppose I can't find a girl who will come so far from home, the servant asked. Then shall I take Isaac there to live among your relatives? Verse 6. No, Abraham warned. Be careful that you don't do that under my circumstance. Verse 7. For the Lord God of heaven told me to leave that land and my people and promised to give me and my children this land. Okay, he said what he said. He will send his angel on ahead of you, and he will see to it that you find a girl from there to be my son's wife. Verse 8. But if you don't succeed, then you are free from this oath, but under no circumstances are you to take my son there. Mm. Child, Abraham means business, okay? Verse 9. So the servant vowed to follow Abraham's instructions. He took him with 10 of Abraham's camels, loaded with samples of the best of everything his master owned, and journeyed to Iraq, to Naor's village. Verse 11. There he made the camels kneel down outside the town, beside a spring. It was evening, and the women of the village were coming to draw water. Verse 12. O Jehovah, the God of my master, he prayed, show kindness to my master Abraham, and help me to accomplish the purpose of my journey. Verse 13. See here, I am standing beside this spring, and the girls of the village are coming out to draw water. Verse 14. This is my request. When I ask one of them for a drink, and she says, yes, certainly, and I will water your camels too, let her be the one you have appointed as Isaac's wife. That is how I will know. Go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell every time you receive Friday's Bible reading or any one of my videos. Verse 15 through 16. As he was still speaking to the Lord about this, a beautiful young girl named Rebecca arrived with a water jug on her shoulder and filled it at the spring. Her father was Bethuel, the son of Naor, and his wife Milcah. Running over to her, the servant asked her for a drink. Verse 18. Certainly, sir, she said, and quickly lowered the jug for him to drink. Then she said, I'll draw water for your camels too, until they have enough. Also, before I go to verse 20, I want to show you, this is where I'm reading from the Living Bible. Now, I am definitely a King James girl first, but the Living Bible was introduced to me when I was in the fifth grade at a Christian private school that my mom put me in. And the requirement is that I pick a Bible. And my mom, even though, like I said, born and raised in the King James, and I still read King James, but I love the Living Bible because it breaks down everything that God is trying to say in this good book. So if you're wondering, it's the Living Bible. Okay, getting back to verse 20. So she emptied the jug into the watering trough and ran down to the spring again and kept carrying water to the camels until they had enough. Verse 21. The servant said no more, but watched her carefully to see if she would finish the job so that he would know whether she was the one. Then at last, this is verse 22. Then at last, when the camels had finished drinking, he produced a 1/4 ounce gold earring and 2 5-ounce gold bracelets for her wrists. Verse 23. Whose daughter are you, miss? He asked. Would your father have any room to put us up for the night? Verse 24. My father is Bethuel, she replied. My grandparents are Milcah and Naor. Verse 25. Yes, we have plenty of straw and food for the camels and a guest room. Verse 26. The man stood there for a moment with the head bowed, worshiping Jehovah. Verse 27. Thank you, Lord God of my master Abraham, he prayed. Thank you for being so kind and true to him, and for leading me straight to the family of my master's relatives. Verse 28. The girl ran home to tell her folks. Verse 29 through 30. And when her brother Laban saw the ring and the bracelets on his sister's wrists and heard her story, he rushed out to the spring whether the man was still standing beside his camels and said to him, verse 31, come on and stay with us, friend. Why stand out here outside the city? We have a room all ready for you and a place prepared for your camels. Verse 32. So the man went home with Laban, and Laban gave him straw to bed down the camels and feed for them, and water for the camels' drivers to wash their feet. Verse 33. Then supper was served. But the old man said, I don't want to eat until I have told you why I'm here. All right, Laban said, tell us your errand. Verse 34. I am Abraham's servant. He explained, verse 35, and Jehovah has overwhelmed my master with blessings so that he is a great man among the people of his land. God has given him flocks of sheep and herds of cattle and a fortune in silver and gold and many slaves and camels and donkeys. Verse 36. Now, when Sarah, my master's wife, was very old, she gave birth to my master's son, and my master has given him everything he owns. And my master made me promise not to let Isaac marry one of those local girls. I don't know why that gets me weak, y'all. Local girls. It looks like they're women of the night, okay? And verse 38, but to come to his relatives here in this far off land to his brother's family, and to bring back a girl from here to marry his son. But suppose I can't find a girl who will come. I asked him, verse 40, she will, he told me, for my Lord in whose presence I have walked, and will send his angel with you and make your mission successful. See, that's the faith that we should all have in Abraham in our everyday life. We should walk through doors as if that task or that position or that business is ours. To know that God has you and he has his angels to usher doors and to open windows, everything. Okay, see, I get to rambling. Let me see where I left off at. Okay, I am verse 41. Okay, see what happens when I get to talking. You are under oath to go and ask. If they won't send in anyone, then you are freed from your promise. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go back to verse 40. She will, he told me, for my Lord, in whose presence I have walked, will send his angel with you and make your mission successful. Yes, find a girl from among my relatives, from my brother's family. Now let me go into verse 41. You are under oath to go and ask. If they won't send anyone, then you are freed from your promise. Verse 42. Well, this afternoon, when I came to the spring, I prayed this prayer. O Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, if you are planning to make my mission a success, please guide me in the way. Verse 43. Here I am, standing beside this spring, and I will say to some girl who comes out to draw water, please give me a drink of water. Verse 44. And she will reply, certainly. And I'll water your camels too. Let that girl be the one you have selected to be the wife of my master's son. Verse 45. Well, while I was still speaking these words, Rebecca was coming along with her water jug upon her shoulder. And she went down to the spring and drew water and filled the jug. And I said to her, please give me a drink. She quickly lifted the jug down from her shoulder so that I could drink and told me, certainly, sir, and I will water your camels too. So she did. Verse 47. Then I asked her, whose family are you from? And she told me, Naor's. My father is Bethuel, the son of Naor, and his wife Milcah. So I gave her the ring and the bracelets. Verse 48. Then I bowed my head and worshiped and blessed Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, because he had led me along just the right path to find a girl from the family of the master's brother. 49. So tell me, yes or no. Will you or won't you be kind to my master? Mm. Hold on one second. I just want to make sure. Then I bowed my head and worshiped and blessed Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, because he had led me along just the right path to find a girl from the family of my master's brother. So let me go back to verse 49. Sorry, I got caught up as I was reading. So tell me, yes or no, will you or won't you be kind to my master and do what is right? When you tell me, then I'll know what my next step should be, whether to move this way or that. Verse 50. Then Laban and Bethuel replied, the Lord has obviously brought you here, so what can we say? Verse 51. Take her and go. Yes, let her be the wife of your master's son, as Jehovah has directed. Verse 52. At this reply, Abraham's servant fell to his knees before Jehovah. Verse 53. Then he brought out jewels set in solid gold and silver for Rebekah, and lovely clothing, and he gave many valuable presents to her mother and brother. Verse 54. Then they had supper, and the servant and the men with him stayed there overnight. But early the next morning he said, send me back to my master. Verse 55. But we want Rebekah here at least another 10 days or so. Her mother and brother exclaimed, then she can go. Verse 56. This is like a soap opera, child. But he pleaded, don't hinder my return. The Lord has made my mission successful, and I want to report back to my master. Y'all get in my way. That's basically what he's saying. I just put a little ad lib in there. So y'all get in my way now. Verse 57. Well, they said, we'll call the girl and ask her what she thinks. Verse 58. So they called Rebekah. Are you willing to go with this man? They asked her. And she replied, yes, I'll go. Verse 59. So they told her goodbye, sending along the woman who had been her childhood nurse, and blessed her with this blessing as they parted. Our sister, may you become the another of many millions, the mother of many millions. May your descendants overcome all your enemies. Let me read that again. Our sister, may you become the mother of many millions. May your descendants overcome all your enemies. Wouldn't that be wonderful if our ancestors or someone, our descendants, said that over us? I believe they have. Verse 61. So Rebekah and her servant girls mounted the camels and went with him. Verse 62. Meanwhile, Isaac, whose home was in Negeb, has returned to Beer Lahai Roy. In the fields, meditating, he looked up and saw the camels coming. Rebekah noticed him and quickly dismounted. Verse 65. Who is that man walking through the fields to meet us? She asked the servant. And he replied, It is my master's son. So she covered her face with her veil. Then the servant told Isaac the whole story. And verse 67. And Isaac brought Rebekah into his mother's tent, and she became his wife. He loved her very much, and she was a special comfort to him after the loss of his mother. Mm. Now we are entering into chapter 25. Now Abraham married again Keturah. Now, how did Abraham's old behind marry again? Lord. Okay, here we go. Okay. I'm telling you, this Bible is like a movie. And we're only in Genesis, okay? Chapter 25. Now Abraham married again. Keturah was his new wife, and she bore him several children: Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, Shua. Jokshans and two sons were Sheba and Dedan. Dedan's sons were Azuram, Letujim, and Lenamim. Excuse me if I pronounce this wrong. Midian's sons were Epha, Epher, Hannah, Abadah, Eldah, and Abraham deeded everything he owned to Isaac. However, he gave gifts to the sons of his concubines and sent them off into the east away from Isaac. Then Abraham died at the ripe old age of 175. Lord, that is a long time. And his sons, Isaac and Ishmael, buried him in the cave of Machpelah near Mamre in the field of Abraham had purchased from Ephraim, the son of Zohar, the Hittites, where Sarah, Abraham's wife, was buried. You remember that when he buried her? And the guy from there wanted to give the plot to Abraham for free. And Abraham was like, no, I pay for my own burials. Verse 11. After Abraham's death, God poured out rich blessings upon Isaac. Isaac now moved south to Bir Lahai and the Negeb, or it could be Negeb, so forgive me. Verse 12 and 15. Here is a list in order of their births of the descendants of Ishmael, who was the son of Abraham and Hagar, the Egyptian, Sarah's slave girl, Nebaioth, Kedar, Adbil, Mizban, Mishma, Duma, Masa, Hadad, Tema, Jetor, Napish, Kadima. These 12 sons of his became the founders of 12 tribes that bore their names. Verse 17. Ishmael finally died at the age of 137 and joined his ancestors. Verse 18. These descendants of Ishmael were scattered across the country of Havilah to Shur, which is a little way to the northeast of Egyptian border in the direction of Assyria. And they were constantly at war with one another. Verse 19. This is the story of Isaac's children. Verse 20. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, Arabian from Padan. For the they're already starting already. Did you hear that loud bomb sound? Armion from Padamaram. Rebekah was a sister of Laban. Verse 21. Isaac pleaded with Jehovah to give Rebekah a child. For even after many years of marriage, she had no children. Then at least she became pregnant, and it seemed as though children were fighting each other inside her. I can't endure this, she exclaimed. So she asked the Lord about it, and he told her, this is verse 23, the sons in your womb shall become two rival nations. One will be stronger than the other, and the older shall be a servant of the younger. Verse 24. And sure enough, she had twins. Verse 25. The first was born, so covered with reddish hair that one would think he was wearing a fur coat. So they called him Esau. Verse 26. Then the other twin was born with his hand on Esau's heel. So they called him Jacob, meaning grabber. Isaac was 60 years old when the twins were born. Verse 27. As the boys grew, Esau became a skillful hunter, while Jacob was a quiet sort who liked to stay at home. Verse 28. Isaac's favorite was Esau because of the venison he brought home, and Rebekah's favorite was Jacob. Verse 29. One day Jacob was cooking stew when Esau arrived home exhausted from the hunt. Verse 30. Esau, boy, am I starved. Give me a bite of that red stuff there. From this came his nickname Edom, which means red stuff. Jacob, all right, trade me your birthright for it. Esau, this is verse 32. When a man is dying of starvation, what good is his birthright? Verse 33, Jacob. Well then, vow to God that it is mine. And Esau vowed, thereby selling all his eldest son rights to his younger brother. 34. Then Jacob gave Esau bread, peas, and stew. So he ate and drank and went on about his business, indifferent, loss of the rights he had thrown away. That is horrible. Could you imagine having a twin like that? So mean spirited. He already treats him like a servant and then asks for his birthright. That's crazy. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell. We are now entering in the final chapter, chapter 26, for this video. Chapter 26. Now a severe famine overshadowed the land, as had happened before in Abraham's time. And so Isaac moved in the city of Gerar, where here's that name. Please bear with me, you guys. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Abimelech, 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 king of the Philistines. Oh my God, forgive me. That is one of the tough names in this Bible that I struggle with. And it's like I want to keep going over and over until I get it right. Abimelech. 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 It's either Melech or quiet. Okay, I'll go forward because my dog he's already hearing the fireworks. It's still light outside, and they're already doing illegal fireworks already. It's so crazy. I mean, like really light outside. It's like almost 7 o'clock, but it's still light. Okay, I will practice that name. But King Abimelech, 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 Abimelech. Okay, I think that's how you say it. Verse 2, Jehovah appeared to him and here and told him, don't go to Egypt. Do as I say and stay here in this land. If you do, I will be with you and bless you, and I will give this land to you and to your descendants, just as I promised Abraham, your father. And I will cause your descendants to become as numerous as the stars. And I will give them all these lands. They shall be a blessing to all the nations of the earth. I will do this because Abraham obeyed my commandments and laws. I remember that, don't you guys? Um, you know, to get that blessing from God, to know that your descendants and generations, excuse me, will, just because of your obedience, you will get blessed. And I believe that if you stay obedient to whatever God wants you to do, whatever your task is in life, and you stay obedient, you will get blessed triple time. And to my followers, my day ones, you know how important the word obedience is for me. You know what I have gone through, you know what I'm trying to transition and totally um, be renewed. And this is why, even if it's just 7 views or just 1 view, I have to do this. I want to read the whole entire Bible in its entirety. This is part of me aligning my brand new relationship with God. I want to know more about the Bible, not just all the, well, you can see. I am familiar. Look at all my post-its, and you'll see all the highlights. But even with all of that, I have not read its entirety. I have not read the Bible, all of it. And I must start from the beginning as I'm being renewed. He's restoring me. Okay, now I'm yapping. Where am I? Okay, I'm in verse 6. I'm assuming. Okay, so Isaac stayed in Gerar, and when the men there asked him about Rebekah, he said, he said, she is my sister, for he feared his life. He told them, see, this is the same thing. Are you watching this pattern? Abraham did this with Sarah. He was afraid of men taking her or harming them when they would travel together. So then he would lie, which got him in a lot of trouble. And I see his son is doing the same thing because he doesn't want anybody to intentionally hurt Rebecca because that's his wife. If you've been following me in my videos, you'll see that he is imitating his father. Okay, verse 7. And when the men there asked him about Rebecca, he said, she's my sister, for he feared for his life if he told them she was his wife. He was afraid they would kill him to get her, for she was very attractive. Verse 8. But sometime later, King Abimelech, the king, I'm just going to say the king, y'all, okay? King of the Philistines looked out of a window and saw Isaac and Rebekah making love. Ooh. See, now this is reminiscent, okay? When that king, this is deja vu all over again. Do you remember when Pharaoh caught um, Abraham? When he found out, he made them go exile. Get out of my kingdom. Get out because you lied. This is not your sister. Why did you lie? And to think that not your wife the whole time. But look at this. They're about to get caught. This is like a soap opera. Okay, let me go back to this. Let me just hit that a little bit. The king Abel, Ab, Abimelech, King Abimelech. Okay, I'm sorry. King of the Philistines looked out of the window and saw Isaac and Rebekah making love. Lord. The king called for Isaac and exclaimed, "She is your wife. Why did you say she is your sister?" Uh-oh, here it goes. Because I was afraid I would be murdered, Isaac replied. I thought someone would kill me to get her from me. Verse 10. Oh, it's about to be on. How could you treat us this way? Abimelech exclaimed. That's the king, y'all. Someone might carelessly have raped her, and we would be doomed. Verse 11. Then the king made a public proclamation. Anyone harming this man or his wife shall die. Verse 12. Maybe they won't get in trouble then. In verse 12, that year Isaac's crops were tremendous, 100 times the grain he sold, for Jehovah blessed him. He was soon a man of great wealth and became richer and richer. He had large flocks of sheep and goats, great herds of cattle, and many servants, and the Philistines became jealous of him. Verse 15. So they filled up his wells with earth, all those dug by the servants of his father Abraham. Verse 16. And King Abimelech, Ab- Abimelech, sorry, asked Isaac to leave the country. Go somewhere else, he said, for you have become too rich and powerful for us. So Isaac moved to Gerar Valley and lived there instead. And Isaac redug the wells of his father's Abraham, the ones the Philistines had filled after his father's death, and gave them the same names they had before, when his father had named them his shepherds. Also dug a new well in Gerar Valley and found a gushing underground spring. Verse 20. Then the local shepherds came and claimed it. This is our land and our well, they said, and argued over it with Isaac's herdsmen. So he named the well of argument. The well of argument. Verse 21. Isaac's men then dug another well, but again there was a fight over it. So he called it the well of anger. Uh-oh. Verse 22. Abandoning that one, he dug again, and the local residents finally left him alone. So he called it the well of room enough for us at last. Well, that's an interesting title. Okay. Mm. The well of room enough for us at last. For now, at last, he said, the Lord has made room for us and we shall thrive. Look at God. Verse 23. When he went to Beersheba, Jehovah appeared to him on the night of his arrival. I am the God of Abraham, your father, he said. Fear not, I am with you and will bless you and will give you so many descendants that they will become a great nation. because of my promise to Abraham, who obeyed me. Verse 25. Then Isaac built an altar and worshiped Jehovah, and he settled there, and his servants dug a well. One day Isaac had visitors from Gerar, oh Lord, here we go. Abimelech. King Abimelech arrived with his advisor Ahuzzath and also Phicol, his army commander. Verse 27. Why are you come? Isaac asked him. This is obviously no friendly visit, since you kicked me out to a most uncivil way. Mm. Verse 28. Well, they said, we can plainly see that Jehovah is blessing you. We've decided to ask for a treaty between us. Verse 29. Promise that you will not harm us, just as we have not harmed you, and in fact, have done only good to you and have sent you away in peace. We bless you in the name of the Lord. So Isaac prepared a great feast for them, and they ate and drank in preparation for the treaty ceremonies. In the morning, as soon as they were up, they each took solemn oaths to seal a non-aggression pact. Then Isaac sent them happily home again. That verse 32, that very same day, Isaac's servants came to sell him. We have found water in the well they had been digging. So he named the well of the oath, and the city that grew up there was named Oath, and is called that to this day. Verse 34. Esau, at the age of 40, married a girl named Judith, and daughter of Beeri, the Hittite, and he also married Basemath, daughter of Elon and the Hittite. But Isaac and Rebekah were bitter about his marrying them. That concludes Friday Bible reading. Thank you guys so much. I want you to have a blessed 4th of July and be safe. Okay? Till next time. Love you. Bye.